Anne Burrows. This is for the level 1 icebreaker for the effective coaching pathway. The speech will be 4 to 6 minutes, and the title is The Icebreaker. The introduction, Anne Burrows, DTM3, will be giving her speech from the Effective Coaching Level 1 Icebreaker. The purpose of the speech is for the member to introduce herself to the club. Her speech may be humorous, informational, or any other style that appeals to her. The Icebreaker, Anne Burrows.
Unmute, Marianne, unmute.
Marianne, you're muted.
Thank you. When I was in grade school, we had a book club where you could order books. I remember getting the list and circling one about a girl named Carol Heiss who won the Special Olympics in 1960 as a gold winner of figure skating. When I got my book, I read it and reread it over and over. Now, my very first experience on ice was at a frozen pond in Lakewood at Madison Park. Oh my gosh, it was freezing cold. My ankles wiggled and woggled all over, and the ice was as bumpy as an alligator back. I spent a lot more time on my bottom than I did standing up. And the best part of it was the hot chocolate when we were done. Then I moved on to Winterhurst Ice Rink, which at the time was an outdoor rink, but they cleaned the ice nice and smooth with a Zamboni. I would go with my girlfriends and we would giggle and laugh and have a wonderful time. Then eventually I went on dates. Now at night at the rink, they had colored lights all around and they would play music and we would sway to the music. Eventually, I moved on. I got married and I had 2 children, a daughter and a son. And Winterhurst moved on as well. They tore down the old rink and they built a brand new spanking ice rink. Eventually, we started to take our children to the open skates. And then my son played hockey. Come on, go, go. And my daughter did figure skating where she did jumps and spins. And I joined a group called the Ice Cubes, where we learned jumps and spins and other skills. And eventually I began to teach ice skating in the Learn to Skate program at Winterhurst. And then I ran the Learn to Skate program for many, many years. Now, somewhere in about the middle of that, a gal from Chicago moved to Cleveland and started a Special Olympics program. I thought about it for a while and I thought that would be a wonderful way for me to give back to the community with a skill that I already had. So I've been doing that for about 40 years. So you can see I've spent a lot of time on the ice. And I personally believe no matter what you do, there are things you can learn. So I'd like to share a few life lessons that I received from ice skating. Number 1 is to be prepared. I don't know how many people have said to me, I can't ice skate. I have weak ankles. And I'm sure there are people out there with weak ankles, but I would guess that most people with weak ankles, or most people, it wasn't the weak ankles, but it was probably because they didn't have the right size skates. You usually wear a size smaller than your shoe size, and they probably didn't have them tied properly. When you tie your ice skates, you want them nice and firm here, but not too tight here or here. And I guarantee with that combination, you will improve your skating. Number 2, use your head. How many of your mothers told you to do that? mind it. So how many of you think that your feet are the most important part of ice skating? Anyone? Well, actually, it's your head. If I was totally relaxed on the ice and I turned my head to the side, my shoulders would begin to rotate and my feet would automatically turn in the direction that I'm facing. And isn't that true with life? We need a focal point, and then the rest of us will follow. Balance is number 3. Most people, when they start to lose balance on the ice, start flailing their arms all around. And that's almost a guarantee that you're going to end up on your bottom. I would always teach my students, if you start to fall, stop. Put your feet together, put your arms out, take a deep breath, and then proceed with the next step. And again, in life, isn't that the way it is? When you're trying to make a decision and your mind's all over the place, it's a real good chance you won't make a very good decision, right? Much better if we unplug, chill out, and then make that decision. The next is not for everyone. Try ice skating, but it may be for you, may not be. Move on to something that you like better. And toe picks, the toe picks in life. Now, if you're a figure skater, the toe picks are very important. That's where you do your jumps and spins. But remember the head? If you're skating and you look down, you're going to trip on that toe pick and you're going to go flying on your face. And personally, I love to skate, but I don't like falling on my face. And isn't it true that we have bumps along the road in our lives? And we need to be cautious of those. And if we do fall down, we need to get back up, dust off our knees, and move forward. And finally, dress for success. Now, I don't know why this happens or how this happens, but every little girl I ever taught over those years, and there's been many of them, they always skate better if they have a new tutu on. So dress comfortably, dress what makes you feel confident, and you will go far in life. And oh, that book I talked about, I still have that book. And in fact, Carol Heiss, she's married now, Carol Heiss Jennings, actually came to Winterhurst and became a coach. So I got to meet her. And after I met her, I found my little book, I took it in, and I had her autograph my book. So now, my friends, you know why the title of my speech was, There's a Lot of Ice in Her Breaker. Madam Toastmaster.